Okay, I figured it out. You have to just go with me on this one, okay? So when I was in the 5th grade, I decided that I wanted to learn how to snowboard. And the hard part was I didn't have the core work for it. I didn't have any of the skills needed for it. And yes, I took lessons, and no, I didn't do really well at it. But after that first lesson, I did better, okay, by envisioning that it was something that I wanted. So in the last video, I talked to you about how do you get what it is that you want. And I've always watched all these YouTube videos about it, and everybody has these like actionable steps, but I'm just gonna give you one today, okay? And that is, when you want something, you have to envision yourself having it. And I mean, walking and talking like it. What does that person do? Well, if that person is good at something, they're gonna research it, right? But you, if you've already researched it and you know that you have what's in you to get it done, then that means that we need to transfer our energy into believing that it can actually happen, okay? So let's talk about an instance where your brain has already given you proof that you already deserve it and it can be done. When we worry about things, what happens? We stress all day and all night. It's all in our thoughts. The first thing that we think about before we go to bed, the first thing that we think about when we wake up. We cry about it. We whine about it, right? And then what ends up happening for the thing that you've been fretting about? You may go to sleep, you may have a dream about that thing, and then the next day may uncover your findings in that dream to someone else. Later on down the line, those dreams actually start coming to fruition, and you end up living your worst fear. Maybe it was something that you saw in a dream that you got cheated on. Maybe it was something that you saw in a dream that you had a skill that started to make sense, or you started to dream in a different language. So instead of the thing that we're worried about, taking that thing that you want and replacing it with the thing that you've been worrying about at that exact frequency. I guess that's the best way that I can say it. So if you were frequently worrying about something for 15 times a day, attempt what it feels like to already know and embody what it is that you want, and you already have it. So an example of that is, for myself, when I decided that I wanted to become a model on the runway, that was a completely different thing than print. So that meant that I had to research, I had to observe and learn in my learning style. So I'm auditory, but I'm also visual as well. So that's also a great skill. If you're already a visual learner, you already have a leg right in the door, because you can visualize what it is that you want. Now, you may have to create vision boards in order to do it, but I find that just by thinking about what it is that you want over and over and over again, it's going to provide you with access to that part of your brain that just takes initiative and says, okay, this is what we're going to do now, okay? Now, if that means that you have to, quote unquote, fake it until you make it, I don't really like that term, because it's not fake. It's something that you can visibly and tangibly achieve in your life. So why not just think about it until you get there? Now, for me, I also had this vision when I was really little, and I even wrote about it, that I saw myself exactly the way that I see myself now. And so to me, that is my proof. I spoke about there is proof that happens that makes your happiness come when you feel, okay, this is starting to get exactly like I thought it was going to be. I may not have had hope at first, but it's starting to feel exactly the way that I wanted it to. So I had proof through my transformation. And that vision that I had when I was a little girl, that I had long hair and I was thinner, definitely thinner than I was then, it made me so upset that I didn't have it that I would do anything in order to get it. And so that meant that I was going to continue to show up for myself day in and day out and keep that vision in my head. And then one day, it took a while, but the vision became clear because it was right there in front of me. So that is my testimony. That is my proof of how visualizing things can actually happen for you. So that also means being careful about those things that you think. So someone told me a while back, and I still use this to this day, that if there's something that is really, really just overcoming your fear, write it down. Because that's the only way that you're going to acknowledge that it is there, and then burn it. Give it away to give it away to God. Whatever you have to do, so that way you're like, okay, cool. This is what I don't want to feel like anymore, and this is what I want to feel like leading forward. End with that. If you are going to write it, write down what it is to acknowledge it. End it with something that is positive for yourself. Thank you, Mr. Ron Walker, for that one. So, as we close, just a recap. If you can visualize it, it will happen. If you write it down, bonus points, okay? Because once it's written, it's out there and it's actually going to happen. But actually meditate on it. And in your times where you're in the stillness, close your eyes and think about what it's like to actually have the life that you want, how it feels, how you speak, and certainly how you speak great positive words into yourself so that way you can get there. I hope you figure it out too.